Our favorite 80s nighttime soap stars brought all the drama. Every day this week, we are chatting with them to reminisce and ask where are they now. First up, Patrick Duffy, a.k.a. Bobby Ewing from Dallas. I caught up with him earlier. Take a look. Patrick Duffy, welcome to DBL. Okay, so I have to tell you, I loved watching you on Bold and the Beautiful, but we're not going to talk about my favorite show. We're going to talk. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about America's favorite show, Dallas. In fact, our viewers would kill me if I just made it all about Bold and the Beautiful. So the reason why Dallas, obviously, such a big hit, but what I loved about it and what many families can attest to, that it really was, yes you, Patrick, but also the invention of appointment television. I mean, millions of people stayed home every Friday night to tune in. So what was it like being launched into that kind of fame? The whole world knew you.
Well, it was, we can only look at it now in retrospect, and we have all of this technology now that we didn't have when we premiered in what was it, 78, I think. We were pushed into a huge ratings reality that just seemed a normal step up in terms of hit shows. And once we realized we were hit shows, we had Larry Hagman, who was recognized worldwide, and he really set the stage of this is just normal, everybody, so get used to it. And now we realize just how important it was that the entire viewing world would stop what they're doing on a specific time at a specific night and just stay glued to the television, and then couldn't do anything about it for 7 more days.
Your dirty deals might just get somebody killed one of these days.
I'm sure everybody always asks you what's the best part about being or playing, Bobby Ewing, and I want to know that answer. But what was the worst part? Was there a downside?
In the very beginning, there was a downside. The show became, all about good versus evil, etc., on various levels, of course. And I was always the good guy, which I really enjoyed doing. But that's a hard character to write for in a very interesting and attention-captivating way. It was great to write for JR or Sue Ellen guzzling down her booze, or
right.
Little Lucy sleeping with everybody but the family, tractor. To this day, I don't wake up or go to sleep not being grateful that Dallas existed in my life.
Wow. Listen, it's so nice to hear the gratitude, considering what a gift it was. A gift. Now, when you were in it, though, what was the best part of playing Bobby? Was it just the rock star status? What was it?
It's having your name on a parking place right in front of the stage door.
That sounds like a dream. Okay, so let's talk about season 9 of Dallas, because that was AKA the dream year. Your character returned to the show right in that famous shower scene after the whole world thought that you had died. So I gotta know, what did you really think of that plot twist?
Well, I've had to defend it, obviously. Our audience, our rabid, devoted fans, devoted an entire year emotionally to what they thought was the new incarnation of Dallas, and to then find out that none of it counted. I understood their frustration. So Larry called me, and I picked up a message. His voice was on there, and he just said, "Patrick, Larry, come out to Malibu. Let's get drunk. I want to talk to you." And that's how that basically, the only part that surprised me was that he wanted to talk to me. And I turned to my wife and I said, they're going to ask me back on the show.
Wow. And
I just knew instinctually. And her immediate reaction was, well, there's no way they can do that unless the whole last year was a dream.
Wow.
And that she did not give them the idea, but Leonard Katzman had the same idea, and he then told me when I went to have a meeting with him. But that was the only way to erase, without getting into a huge half a year of solving that problem, getting rid of that character, et cetera, et cetera. At that moment, we went right back to what the story plot line was the day that Bobby died, and he just didn't die then. And that was the whole thing.
So you spent 43 years with your beautiful wife before her passing just a couple of years ago.
Actually 45, just so you know.
45.
We lived together for 2 years prior to getting married, but we both always considered that 2 years of marriage.
I mean, to be in love for over 4 decades, especially in Hollywood, please share your secret. We all want to learn from you.
It sounds cliche, but it's not, because there's no other way I can explain it. Let's put it this way. As a college graduate, 2 years out of school when I met her, I might not have drawn up that particular list of attributes that she had, because I didn't know what I wanted until I saw it. It was instant. And then we both realized, well, this is going to happen, so let's make it happen right. And for 45 years, we worked very hard to make sure that first initial attraction, where everything goes, your skin crawls, that it lasted. And it did for 45 years to the very last day of her life. 4 years ago, since she passed, and I am now in the most wonderful, finally, for a second time, a beautiful relationship with a wonderful woman.
I know, and in fact, I wanted to, just congratulate on your relationship with Linda Pearl, and of course, our viewers right now know her as Fonzie's girlfriend from Happy Days, right? We all adore her.
I tell you something, beef stroganoff, this is my favorite. Oh. You have any ketchup?
And I'm just so happy that you were able to find love again. And yeah, so special. How did your relationship develop, though, during a global pandemic? I can't even imagine how that must have been.
Well, it's almost, I have to tell people, and I say, please, I understand that everybody suffers in this pandemic, but had it not been for the pandemic, I'm not sure I would be here now. I turned down doing a series with her in 1978. She was going to do a series called The Young Pioneers, and I got offered the script to play her husband. And for some strange reason, I turned it down and took this shot in the dark with a show called Dallas.
Mama, contesting Daddy's will, that's a drastic step.
And the rest is my television history until about a year ago at one of these celebrity auction signing things that goes on. Linda Pearl comes up and we relive that moment of, oh, you turned down my show, I turned down your show and everything. It's somewhere in the back of my mind, I went, this is a very interesting woman, but nothing happened. I got a film in Canada, went to Canada in March. It was shut down before we started. I flew back to my home in Oregon. We started texting again, and it became once a week, and it became a couple of times a week. And then we thought, well, you want to do FaceTime? We got to know each other so well. And I was in Oregon, she lives in Colorado Springs. And at one point, I just thought, well, it's either now or never. I got to figure out if this is real or not. I jumped in the car and drove 23 hours and ended up at her doorstep, and I haven't left.
Oh my gosh, Patrick.
Yeah.
That is the story.
We had never hugged or anything. What? Obviously, there was a commitment because I was there, but we didn't know what to do. And I finally said, may I kiss you?
Stop it.
And that's it.
I can't. This is a Hallmark movie. I feel like you just read me a script, and I love myself some Hallmark movies. In fact, you guys are so close. Our studio here is here in Colorado. After the pandemic, I would love, we need to get you both on the show after the pandemic, right here in studio. We're in Denver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What a beautiful story. Thank you so much, Patrick, for taking the time and for just letting us into your world. I love how transparent you are. It just goes to show why so many people absolutely adore you. And we'll be right back. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Okay. You're welcome.